Shabbat Shalom. Baruchim Abayim, blessed are you who have come to this place, to this Shabbat, to this moment together with us tonight. I get to be the one to say Shabbat Shalom tonight, because I want to lead us into a song that I've been singing since I was a little kid. I think I offered it some time back. We're on page 3 with Lecha Dodi. I love that song. It's a song, as you can see at the top of the page, that was composed by Rabbi Shlomo Halevi Alkabetz, who was one of the great Kabbalists of the 16th century. He was born in 1500, the year 1500 in Salonika, but he moved to Tzfat. He moved to Safed. He moved to Tzfat in 1535 at the age of 35. For those of you who know a little bit about the stars of the Kabbalah of the schools of Tzfat, Rabbi Moshe Cordovero was his student. Joseph Caro was a peer of his, and Isaac Luria was also a contemporary of his. And Isaac Luria is, with this crew of incredible mystics, is the one that really set the tone for the Kabbalah that we know today. And I love this piece. This Isaac Luria was teaching, and probably Shlomo Halevi Alkabetz heard Isaac Luria's teaching in his synagogue, that Shabbat is the union, the marriage between Dodi of Lecha Dodi. Dodi is the divine masculine. And Likrat Kala, Kala is the bride. And the Shekhinah, the divine feminine. And every Shabbat we celebrate the wedding of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, with welcoming the two of them into the sacred space of Shabbat. And one last thing I'm going to say before chanting with you. If you know a little bit of Hebrew, you see that the first letter of each of the stanzas, if you go, it's like an acrostic. The first letter of each stanza spells out the name Shlomo Halevi. So he imprinted his name through the first letter of each of the stanzas. And that was something that people did. That's how they kind of signed their poetry. So it's going to be quite easy because it's very repetitive. And I'm hoping that after the first time, you'll catch up and you'll join in the chorus with me. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם הול תפארת הול תהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נשואך, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. היי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה. רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. התנערי מעפר, קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך, עמי, על יאי בן ישי בית הלחמי, קרבה אל נפשי גאלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי, אורי, 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 שיר דברי. כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תקלמי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי, בך יחסו עיני עמי, ונבנתה עיר על תלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. והיו למשיסה שוסייך, ורחקו כל מבלעייך, יסס עלייך אלוהייך, כי משוש חתן על כלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפארתי, ואת אדוני תעריצי, על יד איש בן פרצי, ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Turn around and welcome the bride. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצוהלה, תוך אמונה עם סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה, מנך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Wonderful. Thank you for indulging me. All my childhood just came back. You may be seated. No, it's wonderful to sing this, around the table as, you do that after, while you say the blessing, before you say the blessing over wine and challah. It's just a whole gestalt. And everybody's banging on the table. Well, we had Diana mimic that for us. It's good to be back. It's good to be present with you all. And we're going to enter into Shabbat together right now. I mean, we already did. We welcomed the bride of Shabbat inside this sacred space that we are creating together with our breath, with our heart, with our presence. I invite you to let go of the week that was. I was sharing in the meditation this afternoon that Shabbat is the one time where we get to be done. There's no point in our life these days where we get to be done. Everything is always 24/7. It's open. We're never done. We're never done. I remember working in corporate America, and at the end of each quarter, you had to present your quarterly results, but it was already a month into the next quarter, so you never got to celebrate. We had a great quarter. It's already the middle of the next one, so you're never done. It just flows into the other thing. Shabbat is the opportunity for us to say, I am done. Feel into that. I am done. Even with the things that I'm not done, I'm done. Because there's always a thread that needs to be rethreaded somewhere. There's always something that we haven't really gotten to this week. But it's like Shabbat is a declaration to say, well, for 24 hours, I'm done. I'll start again Sunday morning. It'll be there. But I'm done. Right now, I'm done. There is nothing anymore that needs doing. I can just simply be. I can simply be just breathing, just being present to this aliveness within me. And just go, We need that. Our bodies, you can feel our bodies need that. That moment of just releasing, and coming, letting ourselves drop beneath the surface, just sink into the heart space for just a moment and go, I'm done. Nothing is doing anymore. I can turn my attention to what really matters. Like deeply matters. Everything matters, but this deeply matters. This matters at a different level. At the heart level, at the human level within us. So it's these first few breaths that we are able to take to let go of that week and to say, I'm done. It's when we say, I am done for this week. That's when Shabbat begins. So welcome. And then when we have declared in our heart, in our soul, we create the space for us to be in that being done place. And we do a couple of rituals. First of all, we get rid of all the baggage, all the things that we've carried through the week. It used to be we carried all kinds of coins in our pockets because we used to need them. Now we don't anymore. But I remember growing up at the end, on Friday, we would get, all the little coins left in our pockets, and we put them in the tzedakah box in the living room. So we don't carry much cash anymore, but we have other ways. But the point was that we made donations to, in service of those that were in need. And at Bet Aleph, we have chosen for years now to continue to do that and to offer our members the opportunity to participate in this age-old ritual, really, that we've done for thousands of years. So imagine you're in your living room. Maybe you are in your living room watching from home. And here's the opportunity to give what's called tzedakah, act of justice. And this month we are sharing our tzedakah, whatever you share. Half of our tzedakah goes to the Washington State Jewish Historical Society. The Washington State Jewish Historical Society has a mission to preserve and present the history of Jewish life in Washington State. We've been here for 100 years. It's one of the old Jewish communities in America. This society, the Jewish Historical Society, fosters awareness and appreciation of the experiences, the diverse culture, and the significant contributions of Jews past and present. I don't know if you know that, but the Jewish community here, that's why it's diverse, was actually founded by Sephardi Jews that came from Turkey, Rhodes, Salonika, and so it's one of the rare communities in America that was actually founded by Sephardi Jews. We think of America as mostly Ashkenazi, which it is. So it's kind of wonderful. That's why our opera house is, what is it called? Ben Aroya. Ben Aroya is a very Arabic name, Mizrahi name, Ben, like Ben Chaim. Ben Aroya is actually, Ben Achoya is in Arabic means the son of my brother, my brother's son, Ben Achoya. Who knew? Well, I did, but anyway, back to our tzedakah. I think one of the reasons our board and myself wanted to support this organization this quarter is because we were moved. I don't know if you heard the anti-Semitic backlash that happened around the Confronting Hate Together exhibit that was created in collaboration in collaboration with the Jewish Historical Society, the Black Heritage Society, and the Wing-Luke Museum of the Asian Experience. And the Wing-Luke Museum was supposed to host this shared exhibit. And it was showcasing the shared dark historical experiences of all three minority populations here in Washington State. And also to highlight our commonality, our shared commonalities. And, this was and it still is, they're still looking to do it, but right now it's been postponed. They're looking for a new place to do it because they can't do it in the museum as planned. And we felt that it's an important bridge building work, and we at Bet Aleph felt moved to support it. And so we offer this opportunity for all of us to give a little bit of our hard-earned income in support of this organization and the Confronting Hate Together exhibit. If you're watching us online, you can find the donate button. If you're watching on our website, you can see it on the bottom left corner, if I remember correctly, and it's right there on the app. And here in the sanctuary, you'll find the tzedakah box at the entrance. And if you don't have any cash or checks, don't worry. We have a QR code for your Venmo, and you can do that. This is we've been doing it for thousands of years, and we adapt. We adapt, whatever it takes to do a good deed. And while you all do that, I'm going to ask those lighting candles tonight to come forward while we sing together, Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi, I place before me the presence of the One always.
Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi, Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi, Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi, Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi, Adonai Shiviti
So you may be seated. In order to ensure that we have enough people in the sanctuary on any given Shabbat, I torture people to come light candles on Friday so that attendance is secured. And half of the community is lighting candles tonight. Some of them, which I had no idea they were going to, so we're gonna have fun. We're gonna start on our right, and we're gonna start with, where are you, David? David Krupkin. David is lighting our Shabbat candles tonight on behalf of Caroline Geller, honoring Michael Geller's 10th yahrzeit. Michael will always be remembered as a kind, generous, and thoughtful spirit, and his love of Bet Aleph lives on through the Michael Geller Fund. Indeed it does. Next to David, we have Sharon Mayo, and Sharon is lighting for her beloved father, Abe Rittman, who would have been 96 on July 11. She's also lighting for her favorite aunt, Freda Rittman, whose birthday was July 15th. Lastly, she's lighting in memory of her other favorite aunt, Edith Daly, on her 23rd yahrzeit. Behind Sharon, we have Racine and Xavier, and they are lighting in celebration of becoming new members of Bet Aleph. And in gratitude for this wonderful community, they have been learning so much from all of you and are excited to continue getting to know everyone better. And we are too. Next to them is Pam Cowan. Oh, here you are. Pam is lighting for her father, Robert Cowan, on his 29th yahrzeit. She sees him so clearly in her children and grandchildren. Amen. Next to Pam is Linda Moldauer. Linda is lighting a candle for her brother, Richard Gold, on his 7th yahrzeit. And then Sam will take the microphone and tell us, Sam McKagan, why she's lighting candles tonight.
I'm lighting for two friends and colleagues of mine, Stephanie Chastain and Joe Reddish, who are both dying of cancer.
And Janet, tell us also, I don't have you on my list.
So the 28th will be my 70th birthday.
Congratulations. And speaking of birthdays, we have John Hoagland. He's lighting in celebration of his 79th birthday and the start of his 80th trip around the sun. May it be light and sunny.
79 and I am fine.
You're fine. You're fine. Good. And then Celia is lighting in memory of her grandmother, Shirley Osseron Harris, Jackie's mother, on her 22nd yahrzeit, which was Wednesday, July 17th. And Shirley was an award-winning volunteer who loved singing in her temple choir as a youth, and it was her life's mission to make people laugh. I can see that in her granddaughter. She used to keep jokes written on scraps of paper in her purse. Wow.
Even during cancer treatment,
Wow.
she was telling jokes.
Wow. She was the early Mrs. Maisel. At home, Jan Haybarth is lighting her Shabbat candles tonight for Claire Kelly. Claire is her partner's Chip's sister, and they learned this week that she had been diagnosed with breast cancer. And so they invite loving, healing energy her way in this challenging time. The prayer for blessing the light of Shabbat is on page 1 in your prayer book. And as always, we are invited to cover our eyes as we chant the blessing, to remind us that the light we are blessing is not the candles, but the light of Shabbat awakening in our hearts. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת. Amen. Thank you all. And while people are returning to their seat, I just want to mention also tonight we are delighted to have Susan Bardsley joining us on the piano. She's been a frequent guest at Bet Aleph, and it's always lovely to have you back. And thank you for supporting us tonight. We are on page 5, and we rise for the call to blessing. We're just going to say it together first. Join me. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Bless the Eternal, the one who is blessing. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed. Blessed is the Eternal, the one who is blessing eternally. At the top of page 6, we meet the 6 words of the Shema from the book of Deuteronomy, the words that are the central affirmation and the mantra of Jewish meditation practice. Join me. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, Israel, the Eternal manifests as all that is. The Eternal is one. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Blessed is the name. The splendor of its presence shines eternally.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu
You may be seated. And we continue with the Ve'ahavta in the middle of the page.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברתם בם, בשבתך בביתך, ולכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Emet. We continue on page 8 and we rise for the Amidah. We say together, Eternal, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Eternal One, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Adonai יגיד תהילה
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי לאה ואלוהי רחל, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. And we remain standing. We're going to sing another part of the Amidah. Remain standing if you are able. If you are able. Kedushat Hayom. It's in the middle of page 9.
Nase v'reishi Shabbat.
Yismechu
B'malachutecha.
Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei Oleg Shabbat Yismechu b'malachutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei Oleg Shabbat.
You may be seated, unless you want to keep dancing. I don't know. Should we do it again? Oh, one of the candles fell. That's a problem. We're stomping too hard. You think it's my fault, huh? Is that what you say? Thank you. Yes. I want to talk to you about what's going on in the Torah this week. I want to talk to you about Balak, the king of Moab. Balak, the king of Moab, has a problem. He has a big problem. The wandering Israelites are encamped at the border of his kingdom, waiting to pass through his kingdom in order to get to Canaan. Now he has heard from his friends, the Amorites, that when they tried to stand in the way of the Israelites as they were passing through their territory and fight them, it didn't go well for them. And now he has amassed all of his army, all of his soldiers, and he's ready for battle. But, and that's a very loud one, he senses that his soldiers dread going into battle against the Israelite. Why? Because they too have heard the fabled stories of these invisible, undefeatable Israelites. And so Balak feels like he needs an edge. He needs something. He needs something that is going to motivate his soldiers, something that is going to uplift them, to lift them out of their dread in order to courageously be able to fight the upcoming battle. And he has this fantastic idea. He decides that he's going to summon to his kingdom Balaam. Balaam, you might not have known about him. He's dead now. But he's known at the time. He's known to be, he was world famous. He was world famous in the Middle East as having really divine superpowers. And I quote from Balak, who tells Balaam when he meets him in front, standing in front of the Israelite tribes. He says to Balak, he says to Balaam, Balaam, we all know, he whom you bless is blessed indeed. And he whom you curse is cursed. Come, curse me, Jacob. Come, tell Israel's doom. Obviously, he says all that in the earshot of his soldiers, believing that really that should strengthen his soldiers' resolve. And we read these words in the Torah portion this week, and for us, of course, this word resonates painfully right now. Come curse me, Jacob. Come tell Israel's doom. And I was really reflecting on the fact that we may live in the age of Balaam. Not the age of Aquarius, but the age of Balaam. Or, maybe more precisely, in the age of Balaamism. It seems to me that Balaam's descendants are alive and well and living among us, and that they have taken over created entities to further the message of their ancestor. Now, they've called those entities, those enterprises, MSNBC, Fox News, Facebook, X or Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. They also have called them the New York Times, the Guardian, or the Washington Post, or maybe the Washington Times and the New York Post. Who knows? Who cares? Because it seems that all of those entities are in the business of cursing. It seems that those entities are in the business of cursing because cursing sells more copies than blessing. Not just sell more copies than blessing, sells more copies than blessing by an order of magnitude. And the internet itself is awash these days with conspiracy theories, rabble-rousers and demagogues, professional cursors like Balaam, who make a living like Balaam, from clicks and likes on their websites and their platform, from ever more radical demonization of the other side du jour, whatever that is in that particular moment. Tell me who to hate today on my phone so that I can feel better about myself and my circumstances, so that I can externalize onto another group, another person, all the evils that have befallen me and my life. Just what Balak wanted for his soldiers. It's fascinating, those universal stories in Torah. What Balak and Balaam didn't have, of course, is the algorithm. They didn't have the algorithm. Because it would have been so good for them to have the algorithm, because the algorithm just amplifies the voices of all the Balaams around through a system that feeds on conflict and drama. I mean, we see it every day. A system that draws its strength from ever more radical polarization and the social fragmentation that we are living in now. It feels like in the algorithm there is a built-in incentive. There's a built-in incentive in the system itself to enslave our minds to its addiction feeds and to keep us at war with each other all the time through, this article or this catchy slogan or these hateful curses all over our phone and our computers. So I really felt, looking at what Balaam is about in this Torah portion, I really felt that we live in the age of Balaam. We have summoned the professional cursors, and they are leading and ruling our lives. And it's really bringing us to the edge of war, just like in the Torah portion. Now, is it possible to put the genie back into the bottle? Is there still time for that? And who will do that? Well, nobody can do that but us. And I believe that we still can. I believe that we still can. We are the only ones, if anybody, to do it. How are we going to do it? I suspect that one of the ways we're going to do it, we're going to try to do it, we're going to endeavor to do it, is to, instead of surrendering our individuality into the hive mind of the collective, that we might want to reclaim that individuality away from the manipulations of the algorithm and those who profit from it. to reclaim our individuality from the hive mind of the collective, because it feels to me that we are surrendering to the collective consciousness and are erasing our identity in service of the collective. And we are engaged in the fight for our own individual minds. I know it might sound bombastic, but I really believe that there's a kind of colonizing of our minds through all of those gadgets and tools and algorithms. And how do we break free from those tools? I think one of the questions we have to ask ourselves is, where do I put my time and attention? Like it's a simple phrase, but it really is critical. Where do I choose to put my time, to give of my time and my attention? And we can, each of us, do a little inventory in our lives. Where do I, in every day of my life, where do I give my time? What do I give my time to and my attention to? And is that healthy? Is that supporting me? Is that supporting my goals? Is that supporting who I want to be or become or evolve to be? Where do I put my time and attention? Time and attention. Remember these two words, my time and attention. Where is it going? Am I intentional in protecting this mind space of mine? Or am I enslaved to the dopamine rush of ongoing doom scrolling? In other words, do I carve out Shabbat for my mind, for my ability to think and to reason and to take stock and to distance myself from the noise that comes at me relentlessly? Do I have the capacity to create Shabbat for my mind as well? Not just for my body. It's good to rest the body, of course. But we need to create opportunities for Shabbat of our mind. I don't know if you remember, but I pleaded with us 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I gave a talk on Rosh Hashanah about exactly that. I was inspired that year from a book and then articles that I read from author Steve Almond. And I don't know if you realize, if you remember, what I shared, but he really brought for me the notion and the urgency that in fact, we are already engaged in what he calls a battle for the inner life. A battle for the inner life. And here's the quote that I used in my talk, because I went back and looked for it, because I thought I talked about that before. Here's what I quoted. I believe our entire species is at this perilous moment engaged in a pitched battle for the inner life. One so pervasive it has become as invisible as air. This struggle has degenerated into an all-out assault. To focus on the inner life today, to think deeply, to reflect on painful or confusing experiences, is to defy the clamoring edicts of our age. Preyed upon is our hunger for sensations and narcissistic reward, our readiness to privilege action over contemplation, over seeking to know ourselves. And yet we see that all around. So many individuals given over to the hateful mass ideologies. Now in Torah, Balaam, it's kind of interesting. We don't exactly know what pushes him to move from about to curse the Israelites to blessing them. People speculate, rabbis speculate, that maybe he was divinely inspired. He actually says himself that he can only speak words that God places in his heart and his consciousness. I think that you could read that as, he being possessed by God. But Balaam ends up blessing the Israelites rather than cursing them. And the words that he used are the words we're going to sing in just a moment. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Israel. And I love that blessing. Like I looked into that blessing differently this year than I ever did before. It says, Ma tovu, what's so good? What is good? What is good is, as the blessing says, is to care for our mishkenot, mishkenotecha, each of our mishkenot. What are mishkenot? The word itself is kind of a diminutive, a short version of Mishkan. Mishkan is the temple on the Temple Mount, the temple that traveled with the Israelites through their wanderings. But Mishkenot is a small version of the Mishkan, if you want. It feels like more sweet and more personal. And here it's translated as our dwelling places. Our dwelling places are our Mishkenot. What is good is our inner Mishkan. Each of our individual sanctuaries, our inner hearts. What is good is what Balaam saw and blessed. What Balaam saw, and the rabbis tell us, is that the entire encampment of the Israelites, millions of us, entire families, each with its own tent, were set up in a way that the entrance of one tent never faced the entrance of another tent. And in fact, everybody, even there were millions of us camping together, each family had its own privacy. Nobody saw what was going on in the neighbor's tent. And the rabbi said that when Balaam saw that, he was so awed by the ability of the Israelites to be in the multitude, to be in community, and yet also maintain their individuality, that all he could do was bless. And to me, that is exactly what the point I find this year to be, is that yes, we're all parts of collectives, but let's not lose ourselves in the collective. Let's keep also our own identity, our own self, our own individuality. And let's bless that mishkenot, that inner sanctum, that inner sanctuary. Let's invest ourselves in it. Let's nourish our inner heart, our inner soul, away from the noise of the collective. Ken yehi ratzon. Amen. On page 25 is the blessing we sing together now.
ואני ברוב חסדך
משכנותיך ישראל, משכנותיך
And as the lights grow dim in the sanctuary, I invite you to close your eyes. And we'll share in a few moments of meditation. And to simply find your breath and just be mindful of the sensations of the breath coming in and going out through your nose. And with each out breath to let go, to let be, to let come whatever might arise. To release any tension, any stress that we might have accumulated throughout the week. And with every out breath, to find a deeper healing, a deeper wholing by just being. Meditation, I have found, is one of the places in my life where I love to give my time and attention. It allows me to Shabbat every day a little bit. Our tradition has Shabbat to be 1/7 of the week, but we can take that into 1/7 of our days. I've calculated that we're about 16 hours of waking time if we sleep 8 hours. And it's about 1/7 of 16 is about 2 hours, a little more, but we can shave off from the top. And it's interesting because most meditation teachers around the world would tell us that meditating a couple hours a day is what we need. Maybe they too did the Shabbat version, the 1/7. And it doesn't have to be a block of 2 hours. You can do half an hour here and half an hour there. But it's one of those places where we can reclaim our mind from the noise of the algorithm. And to connect, as you are doing now perhaps, with ourself, our being, our aliveness. And it is so simple. We just watch the breath, maybe feel into the beating of the heart, feel into the sensations of the body, feel the pressure of the seat underneath us, feel the touching of the clothes around us. Listen to the sound of the breath coming in, going out. That's it. There's nothing else to really do. Just being alive, present to our life for a few minutes every day. As if there was nothing more important than the sensation of this breath right now, at the beating of the heart right now. In this moment, this is the entirety of our life. When we're not distracted about the past or the future, the allegiance to this thought or that ideology, we can just be here, ourselves, alive, free from all the voices that clamor for our time and attention. As simple as it is a practice, meditation is a practice of freedom. It asks nothing. There is no equipment to buy. You can do it anytime, anywhere, as long as you can pay attention to your breath. You can do it walking, sitting, talking to a friend, always mindful of your breath. It is a restorative practice. And it is available to anyone and everyone. Nobody has to be special for it. As I've shared before, the best instructions I have ever heard from an enlightened master, which I'm going to follow right now for a few minutes, is sit down and shut up. Don't listen to the mind. Stay with the body and the breath. Stay with the beating of your heart. There is great power of healing in the simple practice of mindfulness. When mindfulness simply means to be mindful of the sensations of the body, the breath, the beating of the heart. To be mindful of our existing simply right here, right now, without needing anything extra. There's great release and great healing that can open up for us if we walk through the door. And if we find this healing, may we share it with all those we know on this Shabbat to also be in need of healing. May they discover the radiance of their heart, the light of their mind and soul, to penetrate every cell in their body and heal them from within. On this Shabbat, we hold in light of healing all of us here in this space tonight, all of us participating from behind the screens. May we all find healing on this Shabbat. May we also hold in the circle of healing David Mark, Daniel Clark, Maxwell Bernard, Lynn Carroll, Lawrence Stern, Elizabeth Heath, Maggie Pisner, Ronnie Shapiro, Margaret Bergman-Ness, Amy Lowe, Noah Clark, Janet Crawley, Carlos Taylor, Deborah Liebes, Wendy Pender, Amy Austin, Edward Tansman, Rachel Naomi Remen, Anne-Marie Regalado, Laura Sack-Klein, Julie Wilchins, Mary Allison Castleberry, Nagy Girgis, Dave Milosh, Eliza Jeff, Katie Haybarth, Audrey Chase, Steve Doyne, Beth Doyne, Awilda Verdejo, Kathy Wack, Bob Wack, Jim Halverson, Zoe Sutter, Mark Crockett, Valerie Shanke, Dan Trudeau, Stephanie Prince, Patty Morris, Billy Barnes, Fern Krasny, Darcy Donegan, Jackie Williams, Judy Cohen, Michelle Cooksley, Philip Herzog, Claire Kelly. We name in our hearts those we also include in the circle of healing tonight. ימלא רחמים עליהם לחזקם ולרפאותם רפואה שלמה, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף. And we imagine them through our song, bathed and supported by the waters of healing. The words are on page 35.
Waters of
we continue on page 12. I think, yes. And we rise for the Aleinu. We say together, we are the ones given this way of praising the Holy One of all being, that we might understand and express the greatness of the One who shapes all creation. We celebrate our uniqueness and that of others, and seek to discover the wonder that we are. Therefore, we bend the knees, we bow, and we proclaim our gratitude before the ruler of all rulers, the Holy One of all being. As it is said, then we shall truly realize the Eternal One as universal being. And on that day, the unity of being shall be celebrated by all. Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו And I forgot to open the ark, didn't I? Somebody should throw something at me. Rabbi, are you on vacation already? What's going on?
Clearly none of the rest of us noticed either.
We continue on page 13 with the Mourner's Kaddish. And before we chant the Kaddish together, I want to invite all of us to bring to mind, to bring to our heart those who we have lost, those who have made their transition from this level of being, continuing on their journey into the next. Those who have walked with us for a while, this path of life. In a moment such as this, we seek to open our heart to memories of energies of compassion, energies of acceptance, energies of love, ultimately. And through the words of the Kaddish, we bless that which has been, that we might open our heart to the preciousness of each and every moment that we get to spend with one another. On this Shabbat, we hold in light of memory those who have made their transition in recent days, weeks, those for whom we hold Shiva or Shloshim, Jackie Curran, Celia Curran's mother, Bet Aleph member, Joe Geller, late Michael Geller's last living brother. On this Shabbat, we also hold in light of memory those who have made their transition this past year. Donna Glosser, Dan Springer, Judy Simon O'Brien, Andrew Simberek, Judith Gorlick, Hannelore Noni Ebert Kroneberg, Simone Ladruma, Robert Lester, Asher Etkin, Marilyn Coleman, Dolores Heller, David Hemmelgarn, Mike Iverson, Ruth Kalish, Debbie Levine Herman. On this Shabbat, we also hold in light of memory those whose yahrzeit happens to coincide with this time of the year. Richard Gold, Robert Cowan, Shirley Osran Harris, Edith Daly, Michael Geller. And we name in our hearts those we remember tonight as we share together in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabba, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמא, ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. May the one who creates harmony above make peace for us, for all the household of Israel, and for all the peoples of the world.
And
Let us say,
Amen.
Amen. Just a few announcements before we close with our closing song, which is Lechu Neranena on page 24. We won't have any Beit Midrash tomorrow morning. I won't be here. I'll be back mid-August. I'm doing a Shabbat of the mind and the heart for a few weeks. But don't miss Sunday, our picnic, our annual picnic at 4 p.m. at Seward Park. We have reserved shelter 2 for all of us. Please join us. And there's information, I think, on our website, but bring a little food to share with everyone. And it's going to be a sunny day, and we have, Seward Park. It's right there on the water, so a lot of time, at least the kids, they jump in the water and enjoy themselves. So bring a towel for the kids. That's it. Just join us for the oneg downstairs. We'll share in a little bit of wine or juice or bread, and we'll hang out as a community and talk and meet each other once more. Shabbat Shalom.
Let's go.
Shabbat Shalom. If a few people could stay behind and help us transform the space back into the CSL sanctuary, we would appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll see you downstairs.